Right, welcome to the Survival Debrief. I'm Stephen Kelly, your host. I am a 23-year veteran from Commando Forces. I'm also done the UK's Extreme Survival Challenge called Naked Alone Racing to Get Home, and I managed to take on the Extreme Survival Challenge on Discovery Channel, not once but twice. And I'm so happy today. We've got the amazing legend Gary Golden from Naked and Afraid. How are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, what's up, Steve? How are you? Welcome to the family, my friend.
Oh, mate, I'm good and I'm absolutely buzzing that you're on this screen talking to me now. I'm buzzing. How have you been?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Ticking over. Been getting fat again. I've finished my challenges now and I'm just constantly putting on the weight and going to the gym, trying to get some muscles.
Yeah, hey, as one of the survivalists, Chance Davis would say to me all the time, "Do you still have your eating disorder?" because because when we get done, man, it's like an eating disorder.
I know you
Um,
can't stop eating, can you? When you finish your challenge, you're just gorging.
well, yeah, and you develop different tastes. In fact, I'm right here in front of I'm just about to grab lunch as we speak, right here off this cactus fruit.
Oh, mate, I'm looking forward to seeing what you're eating while we start chatting. But I wanted to bring you on today. And obviously, Gary, you're one of the legends. You're a prominent figure within the Naked and Afraid franchise. You've been there, you've done it all. I think you're pushing on 200 days now. I think you've done 5 or 6 challenges. And you've been there
No,
and done
I've done 8 challenges.
8 challenges. I need to start
Eight
doing press ups because I've said the wrong thing.
8 challenges, 222 days. I think I have the fourth most days in the franchise.
Wow, Gary. But like I said, you're a prominent figure. You're a good character. You do pass on a lot of knowledge to your survivalist, and you do pass on a lot of knowledge to the audience who are watching it as well. And I've been a massive fan of you since near off the start of when you started. I like all the older blokes, you, EJ, Wes Harper. You're good people to look up to. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to get you on here now. And there's a few things I've been asking some of my guests about the challenges. And the first question I want to ask you is, how did this all come about? How did you end up naked on your first ever challenge? Where did it start?
For me, it kind of starts at childhood, but it really, I was always a barefoot kid. Look, I'm barefoot right now at these cactuses.
Nice.
So I've always been barefoot, and so I'm born on the beaches of California, shirtless and barefoot. And so always playing in the ocean. California is, for those that haven't been, it's a state full of nature, like the ocean. There's a safari in the ocean, everything. And I've been just playing in nature my whole life. And I started with my father in something called Indian guides, where the dads took their little boys to go. We made our own moccasins and we made our own vests. And my name was Shooting Star. I made my own name. I was into shooting stars as a little boy, and my name was Shooting Star in this little uh, thing where we called Indian guides, where we really wanted to be like the Native American people. And then what really launched it is, I started studying survival in 1999 because of the whole Y2K thing that we were worried about hitting. And I spent a year in the wilderness actually doing something about really educating myself in actual survival instead of just being a nature
Yeah.
boy, right? And then and then and then boom, 2014 hits, and I end up saving a young man's life, like a 17-year-old boy, young man in the ocean of California in a cave. So I saved a life in the ocean, in nature, and I went viral around the world for that. And I got the Carnegie Hero Medal, and and then that caught the eye of people that worked for Naked and Afraid, because here's this guy saving a life in nature, and then they look into me, and I'm actually a survivalist. I'm a teacher of nature. I'm a garden teacher and a nature awareness teacher all over LA, and they're like, "Oh my God, this guy works with kids." It was like the perfect storm, right? And so saving a life in nature is what brought Naked and Afraid to me. Once they took a deeper look, they were like, "Oh my, this guy's perfect. Look at this guy. He's an actual survivalist who teaches children, And then they threw me on the television, and the rest is history. Because then I think we can honestly say I'm the wildest character to ever hit the naked and afraid world, right? I mean, I end up being this really wild character on TV, really living up to the survival world, and it was just this perfect storm. If I had to explain it, a perfect storm, which made this all turn. I'm going to tell you a funny story, Steve. The producer, David Story, on day 8 of my very first challenge, because of something that I did that took a lot of integrity. I'll tell you, a local smuggled me some food, and I refused to eat it. It was just some little cocoa nuts. And David Story saw that, and he goes, "Man, you're starving. You haven't had a bite in 9 days, and I saw those sitting there, and you haven't touched them." And I go, "No." I said, "Dave, I want to make this real." And he goes, "Wow." And he started telling me, "We all talk about you at the lodge." He goes, "Your integrity is insane. Will you do my XL?" And so I looked at David's story. This is a good story. And I looked at David's story and I go, "Hey man, I just want to get the F out of here, man. I don't want to be a reality TV star, man. I just want to move on and go do my own stuff after this." And then boom, here I am 8 years later, 9 years later, and I become a reality TV personality. And I told him, I looked him dead in the eyes and said, I did not want to become that.
I'll tell you what though, Gary, like you said there, you have been a prominent figure for the franchise. You are a wild card, mate, but you're educational and you're daring. The stuff I've seen you do when you took on bees, you climb, you are an incredible climber. You do stuff which I wouldn't even dream of. The cliffs you're climbing up, the trees you're climbing up, and you're not scared to put yourself in danger, and you're not scared to be vulnerable. And I think that's why people like to watch you, mate, because they like to see you be vulnerable, but then you succeed when you're climbing and you're getting your honey and you're getting stuff out of trees. And 99% of survivalists wouldn't even dare do after stuff you do for safety reasons as well. And you're just so confident in your ability, and it's amazing to watch.
Well, thank you, sir. You know, I, um, I like to own that a lot, because here's one reason why. On most of my challenges, I'm the oldest one out there.
Hmm.
And all the LOS, all three last one standings all together, I'm the oldest one to ever do last one standing.
Wow.
I think I'm older than Wes.
So I think Wes is 55.
Oh yeah, I'm older than Wes.
Yeah.
So so I'm the oldest one to do any last one standing. And so I like to sort of, I will sort of take the brag on it a little bit nowadays, and here's why. Because primarily because of my age, and because I think it gives hope. It'll show young people, hey, here's what happens if you take care of yourself. So I think it's inspirational. And then the older people, are cheering me on, like, hey, look, there's one of us, like, out there just keeping up and sometimes whooping butt on the younger ones,
Yeah, yeah.
you know? And so I own it hard, because I'm in a unique position. I'm in a unique position. Not only am I the oldest one out there, I'm the healthiest.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, all right. So when I was on my apocalypse challenge, I was speaking to one of the cameramen and he worked with you, Eric Foss.
Yeah, I know Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was telling me how because he got put on my team because I'm very active. I run everywhere. I'm climbing. I'm dragging and picking things. And when I was chatting away to him, I go, "Have you ever been this active?" And he goes, "The only person I'm ever active with is obviously me." And he went, "Gary Golden. He is fun to be around. I learn loads. He's climbing up trees and he constantly wants to get out." And I was loving the fact that I'm working with a man who you've worked with, and he's telling me all these inside stories, and he say you're such a joy to work with. You're willing to push yourself out your comfort zone, and it was absolutely amazing to hear all that while I'm on my own challenge.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I'll tell you a funny story. Um, one of the girls, the assistant producers, showed up, and she had to work with me in the morning. She shows up in the morning, right? Because we're really left alone at night,
Yeah, yeah.
and I go, "Oh wow, I feel bad for you. You got stuck with me, huh?" And she goes, "You know what she said to me? She goes, uh, you know what, Gary? You want to know the truth? We actually argue and fight over to be with you because we know we're gonna laugh and we know the day's gonna go by quick because we just know that like you're gonna be doing something." And so she told me that, and I was like, "Really?" I said, "All right." Because I'm also an a-hole sometimes, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and so I was like, well, thank you. That makes me feel good.
Nah, you've been absolutely amazing. You've been a spot on to watch over the years, Gary, and I've been a massive fan of you, and I'm buzzing. I'm so happy at the minute I've got you on my podcast. But just a question over your 8 challenges. I got it wrong. I said six. I don't know where I've got six from. I've watched all your challenges. But out of all your 8 challenges, what's been the hardest and why?
Okay, the hardest is always a jungle. You know, you're getting eaten up constantly from the chiggers in the daytime, from up as high as you're above your knee, just constantly itching and chewing. Then the sun goes down. As soon as the chiggers go away, the mosquitoes come out. Um, all kinds of trees that shoot poison on you if you chop them with an axe, like I did in the Amazon. And you know, it's really thick. You can't see the animals as much, like if you're hunting. So I would say, you know, jungles are the definite hardest, man, out there in the jungle. There's a lot of fruit to eat, you know, sometimes some nuts, but yeah, I would say the jungle. And out of those jungles, I would say the jungle of Belize on my solo challenge, and of course the Amazon. I didn't last too long in the Amazon, but oh boy, that was, I could tell that was going to be a hard one.
Yeah,
The
no, I
swamp, the swamp of Louisiana had a lot of mosquitoes and a lot of biting flies, but it wasn't like the jungle.
yeah. I remember your swamp challenge and where you were hacking at that tree for days on end, that big tree. You were with Amber, and I think you were with
Max.
Max, yeah, Amber and Max in your team. You're hacking at the tree. But it's funny how you said about the jungle. Now, I've operated in a lot of jungle throughout my 23 years in commandos. I've been to Belize, Brunei, Sierra Leone, and obviously on my challenge, my first challenge was a jungle. I don't know if you ever watched my first episode, but when I got dropped off in Colombia, I was chewed up, and that's the hardest part, the mindset over insects. Let the viewers know what you're eating there, Gary.
Oh, this is prickly pear. Hey, this is one thing I want to share with you, Steve, about being from California. So, most people don't handle these prickly pears barehanded. That the needles all stick and stay in your fingers when you're done. So, but I'm going to share a little something about California with you. If you've ever really walked around in California, uh, we the food literally is dripping off the trees everywhere you go. Like right now, take a look at where I'm at right now. Look behind me. See the ocean?
Wow.
And and so like I thought about walking around with you in a neighborhood. This is kind of a neighborhood, but um so like let's say these cactuses. Most people you can't handle them with bare hands unless you're Gary. because because I don't know if you ever handle them, you can see there's needles. There's needles.
Yeah.
So you get all these needles in your fingers and they just stay. So, but what I do is I cut these open and I just get a spoon and I'll sit here and I'll have breakfast. Mm-mm. And I make a, I have some videos coming up, Steve, where I make uh cactus custard. No, I'm sorry, cactus cobbler. And I actually get this cactus and I pour it over some granola with some kefir and like make it look like a cobbler. And I eat a ton of this. Now, what I do here in California, what I think you'd be fascinated with is most people buy their groceries from the grocery store. I eat a lot of stuff that's all around us out here that other people just don't eat. And I don't know if you know, there's glyphosate and Roundup and stuff all over the fruit that you buy from the grocery store. You know
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, the fruit from the grocery store and the vegetables are poison now.
yeah. They're all
So,
sprays and
so, so there's something called it begins TRA. Look up these initials, TRA. You've heard of planned obsolescence when it comes to products that you buy, where they plan on them breaking down on you soon, so
yeah,
you have to
yeah,
buy
yeah.
another one. So here's what's happening to us right now in the world. It's called TRA. Something I forget what the T stands for. Maybe you could look it up. T rapid aging, where they're actually feeding us food colors and poisons and poisoning our fruit and vegetables and spraying the skies because they want us to have shorter lifespans. So I basically, people look at me like, what do? You eat all this stuff off the land because it's not grown in chemical fertilizers, and this has not been sprayed with any sort of pesticide. And so I could walk down the street on the way up here. I saw an abundant pomegranate tree. There's
Wow,
figs, there's guavas. When you walk on the streets of California, Steve, it is dripping with food.
wow. Look at
And
that.
that ocean right there, it's lobster season right now. I could go out and take a swim and come up and have lobster for dinner.
Look at that.
So
That's thriving in your own. This is thriving in your hometown. Not even surviving and not even spending money.
yeah, so you were asking me off camera if I'm still living off grid. Dude, I live in a place that is so abundant, so rich in food. It's like it's fun to survive, if you want to call it that, because it's so rich in resources. And I could eat fish all day, every day for free. In fact, where I have my business at, when I do my kayaking,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those fishermen down there, their freezers are so full of fish, Steve, that they just fish for a hobby because they got so much fish they can't eat it all, that they're throwing like thousands of dollars worth of fish at me
Wow.
and just for free. And so I live in this really richly abundant world. It's amazing. I thought I'd share that with you, where this barefoot man who owns the sentence, consume as little as possible, is in a position to not have to buy groceries. You know what I mean?
Oh, Gary, I tell you what, it's absolutely spot on. And seeing where you live and what you do, and I've been watching your social media, taking people out, taking kids out, showing them the outdoors, going on the paddle boards in the water with whales. You live an absolutely amazing lifestyle, and you do follow your words, consume as little as possible. You consume what you gather, and it's good watching all that. It's really absolutely good watching all that. But talking about all your challenges as well, I know you've done 8 challenges. You've put to practice what you preach. You consume as little as possible. You use everything all the time. Do you have any regrets on any of your challenges?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have regrets. I'm not one of those guys that says no regrets. People say that about life. Oh, no regrets. No, you have to have regrets. Otherwise, if you don't have regrets, you don't change.
Yeah.
Uh, I have regrets, but then I fix those regrets a lot of times when I'm lucky enough to do 8 challenges. I got to go. Oh man, I just remembered something I didn't do out there in Africa. I'm going to do it the next time in Africa because
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if you know, I have the most days in Africa.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a
You've done a good
I have
few.
143 days in Africa. So if I didn't get to try it last time, I'm going to try it next time. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very fortunate. So I do have regrets. I regret, the time but I would never know to regret it until I did it. Like when I cooked the fruit in Brazil and I got carried out on a stretcher in the middle of the night with an IV in my arm, I thought I was going to die, and I lost 44 pounds. One regret that I'll tell people: when I did my first challenge, I was like so ignorant, and I was walking through the bushes, just making my legs brush through them, like bare legs, just kicking through the bushes, and walking real hard on the ground, like I'm at home by the beach. And boy, that night, because I had all these little slices all over my shins, right? Because I was like, to me, I was like, that's nothing, because
Yeah.
I thought nothing of it. But then, dude, what I learned is all the flies came out and started sucking on it. Oh my God. And I was like, holy crap. Like, so I learned when I'm out there in nature, dude, even though I look like I'm being all crazy and wild and sometimes reckless,
Yeah.
there's some things I don't do, man. I walk gentle and I make sure the bottom of my feet, because I don't know if you've experienced it yet. You get one little hole in the bottom of your feet, man. It hurts to walk around.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I make sure to as crazy as I look like I'm acting, man. There's some things that I baby. I make sure to try not to get any open wounds in me or nothing. You know what I mean? Because I know something out there wants to suck on it.
Do you know what made me laugh on it? I think it was your first last one standing or your second when you seen everyone running off and you turned around and said someone's probably going to break their ankle and started laughing, and that made me laugh because because people were being reckless, sprinting everywhere, sprinting, and you were just nice and chilled. You were getting to the areas where you needed to be, but that comment it had me in stitches the way you said it. I think we have the same sense of humor, so I'd probably get in trouble because you act out the sense of humor. I hold my sense of humor in. But I think I'd be laughing at you all the time, Gary. I'd probably get in trouble being out there in the challenge with you. So I'd be goading you. I'd be going, go and do that, Gary. Go and do that. I'd end up getting you.
I'm the type. The only regret I have on that one is that I didn't actually drop down to my knees and start praying at one of them rolled their ankle.
Mate,
hey, hey, someone asked me if I had a regret. This happened on a Facebook page or something, on a post I remember. Someone asked me, oh yeah, no, I used to do lives all the time. I don't know if you remember. I'd go live every Monday.
yeah.
And I got a comment. Someone said, do you regret eating that meat out there? Right. I said, or taking all those poops. I remember I took like 7 poops out there. Now I had 7 partners, and they woke up in the morning. They were all grossed out. I said, no, the only thing I regretted is I didn't turn my butt and aim it at them and just shoot the runs all over them.
Is that when you shit? I can shit in my boma. When you eat the rotten carcass, that when you're eating the rotten meat and you're with Jermaine and was you with Jermaine at that time? No, you weren't with Jermaine, was you? Not
No, I've
Jermaine.
never been with
Jeremy.
the
Was it
man.
Jeremy?
Oh yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Now Jeremy was gone at that point. I was with
Sarah.
I was with Trent and Matt and Sarah
Yeah.
and all them. And yeah, my only regret is all those 7 craps I took. I didn't take them all over my partners.
That's absolutely brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Do you know with all your challenges you've done, you've done a challenge now, like we've spoke about, you've been all over the world, you've done a lot of days in Africa, so you've bonded with a lot of survivors, you've been out there many a times, you had your frictions with Matt, you came back together when you done them fan challenges with him. Is there anyone who you're really good friends with, who you always stay in contact with since these challenges?
Yeah, the one person. Well, I'll talk for Matt to Matt for hours on the phone sometimes, but every now and then we connect. And Jeff and I have been. We've taken people on adventures to Iceland, Australia, and now we're taking a bunch of people to Africa. And so me and Jeff stay in pretty good contact and work as business partners in a sense at the same time. And because Jeff has a cool company he started called Patanova, and you know he loves taking me along because I'm entertaining. I'm pretty low maintenance. Like I don't, you know, and and uh, and and we're good friends, and some of the themes make sense too, where like he's taking me to Africa because I'm the African survivalist. I have the most days in Africa.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, me and Jeff are really tight. And I would have to say, out of all of them, before Sarah passed away, she would call me regularly and we would talk and connect and talk about life. Me and Sarah were pretty close. And, but I would say at the current time in life, out of everybody, Amber, I get along really good with Amber. Amber and I, oh, you know who I'm really tight with? What I got to tell you? Holy crap, I forgot this. One of the people I'm the tightest with is your partner, Sonny.
Sonny. Yeah, she told me I'm going to visit Sonny December. Me and Jenny are flying over to Spokane and we're staying in a house for 3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe I'll come visit. That'd be great. Hey, yeah, Sonny and me, we have become really good friends. In fact, I would have to say, I can't believe I bypassed that in my thought process. Me and Sonny have actually, she's probably become one of my very dearest, closest friends from the Naked and Afraid world. But you asked, that wasn't any of my partners though.
Yeah, yeah. Sonny is an absolutely amazing person. Me and my wife flew when she lived in Canada. When we finished my challenge, me and my wife flew over to Canada, stayed in her house for Christmas and New Year, stayed with Jordan, stayed with Mianna. Now we're flying back over in December to stay for 3 weeks in Spokane with them in Washington State. She's the most kindest, careest person you'll ever come across. So
Oh
genuine.
my God. Oh my God. So, and her children, dude, I met the newborn too. Her children are beautiful.
Yeah,
And her one little girl, man, she gave me the reins and let me teach her some stuff. And her husband is amazing. Every time I would go there, I always had a place to stay. I never did, but she made it clear. I always had a room there, dude.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and and her husband, yeah, because I'll tell you a funny story, dude. I went out there where she lived in Phoenix, and I slept in the desert for a month. I just stayed in the desert. I didn't want to stay in a hotel or at her house or anywhere. I just stayed in the desert for a month,
Wow.
and right outside the city. The way it works out there, the desert's right there, so I could be 5 minutes from a Starbucks, but living in the desert.
That's amazing, that. But I speak to
So,
Sonny. I speak to Sonny every day. Every day without fail, me and the wife, we get on a video call. We speak to Jordan, the husband. We speak to Mianna and Myra every night on video calls. And it's weird that she tells me so much about you, how great you are. And it's cool the fact that I'm on a podcast with you now and we're reminiscing over my partner who I suffered with out there for 30, for 21 days. And it's full circle.
oh yeah, oh dude, if people only knew, the fans especially, they only knew what an amazing human being she really was, man.
Yeah.
Hey, that woman is amazing. She's wonderful. She's a true outdoors woman, right?
Sense.
She in fact, it's funny. I almost called her. I've been meaning to call her and check in on her and say, "Hey, how's Spokane treating you?" But yeah, there you go. I would have to say Sonny's right up there. Oh, and I can't leave out EJ. Me and EJ are very tight. So I'm really tight with EJ. I was really tight with EJ for, me and EJ traveled around a little bit and did this little tour thing we did.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Jeff and Matt and Sonny, those four, I would say I'm super tight with them. And then I get along really good too with like Amber and Ashley Marin. I would love to spend time with her and hang out with her because we communicate a lot on the internet. And Ashley, you know who Ashley is.
Yeah, Ashley, yeah, I know Ashley, yeah.
Yeah, and she reminds me, her and Sunny remind me of like each other, like these
Yeah,
amazing women that are just awesome mothers, but at the same time, just really good, survivalists and stuff. Yeah. So there you go. That would be the list. Some of the people I got along with dropped off and got mad at me maybe, and we live in such a political polarized world these days.
yeah,
If you don't go along with everything they believe in, they don't want to talk to you, right?
yeah, mate. Don't get me started on that on my podcast because I'll start going down a rabbit hole.
Oh, no, you can't do it with me on this podcast. You'll go to jail.
But I'm coming to the end of my podcast now anyway. I've only got 6 minutes left on this podcast, and there's a few things I want to try and just wrap up this podcast with. Now, is there any top tips? If you had someone who wanted to go out for the challenge now, and what's the top 3 tips you think they should be training for? How could you prepare for the challenge if there's a fan watching this podcast?
Oh man, I would have to say, number one, I think I don't know if you'd agree with this. Walk barefoot as much as you can. I probably wear shoes probably less than 1% of my life, but I'm privileged. I live in a place where being barefoot, I got restaurants where I could eat shirtless. So be barefoot as much as you can, and then if you really want to get in there, you got to have you doing stuff in nature on your social media at least, and either be super good at it or be really loud while you do it or something, and or endearing. You got to remember stuff like that. But as far as training goes, I would learn how to work fire. I actually went out and trained. Someone who I'm friends with is Jolie. You know Jolie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Danny, the redhead, the new
Yeah.
Danny, the May the 4th one that she did. I trained both of them in fire before they did their challenges, which was smart of them because that's one thing I'm known for out there is how to maintain and keep the warmest possible fire out of any survivalist. Even EJ told me, he goes, I've never seen this technique before.
Yeah.
And he named it the golden furnace fire. And so I do have these techniques around fire that is very unique. And so one thing, keeping warm, you're going to find is key. So just know how much firewood to have there. As you probably know, Steve, that firewood goes quicker than people realize. And
Yes. If you think you've
so,
got to times it by 10.
yeah, by 10, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I know how to conserve it. So get good with fire because, man, that's your baby. In fact, when I train people, I teach them to build a shelter over the fire before themselves because you could be in pouring rain and have rain pouring on you and hell hitting you like I've been seeing on TV. But man, if that fire's going, it won't matter. You could be soaking wet, but you got a fire, you're good.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember watching your Excel challenge in Africa where you built that clay pot to keep your fire dry, and all your survivalist team was shouting at you, but it was gold
Oh,
dust.
they had no idea. They had no idea what was. They didn't. Here's why that happened. That night, it rained for 10 hours. I was the one holding on a stick the lid to the pot over the fire to keep it going, to keep us all warm. So
Yeah,
I knew that night as we were soaking wet, that was my learning moment. I knew that we needed something to shelter the fire more than us because there wasn't enough material to shelter us. It would have taken so much clay to build something to shelter us. So that's why I was building that. I said, I'm going to shelter the fire because I learned last night that if we have a fire going and we don't have to hold something over it, then we
yeah.
can kick back. And that came into play on several challenges. In fact, me and Waz, I think I don't know if it makes it to TV, but we're holding banana leaves over the fire so the fire won't go out while we're getting soaking wet. So I will tell you, the number one thing that needs shelter more than you is the fire. That
Mate,
is a fact.
spot on there, Gary. They were good points. And I've only got 3 minutes left on this, but one more closing question. If you got a phone call tomorrow asking to fly out on another challenge, would you go?
Yeah, I would go. Yeah, I would. I would do another challenge.
Oh, mate, that's absolutely amazing. Do you know what? This is the end of my
Hey,
podcast.
hopefully, I do one with you one day. We almost did.
Gary, I would love it if I was out there with people like you and EJ on that. I'd be starstruck for 60 days, going, "What's going on here?" I'd be picking your brains, and I remember you teaching me about the hip divot. I'd be picking your brains every day and trying to learn all skills off you. I wish.
Did I tell you? Hey, did I tell you about the hip divot?
Yeah, you taught me. You taught me on the phone, and I was using me and Wes Harper. We're using it on the apocalypse. Yeah.
That hip divot. Hey, that hip divot is so simple and huge,
I
right?
didn't even think about that till you told me. And when I got out there, a little dig, put my butt in near the side of me, curled up, nice sleep. I tell you what, Gary, I wish I had longer on this podcast because I could talk to you for a month straight, but I'm too tight to pay for the upgrade. I don't want to pay for the upgrade. But
I
I've
got
only
you,
got,
buddy. Hey, it was an honor, Steve. I'm glad you got on. You're kicking butt, dude. I love it. So I'm happy to call you friend as well, man. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Oh, likewise, honestly, thank you very much, Gary. And I want to say to all of you viewers out here, much appreciated for tuning in. Go and check Gary Golden out across social media. He's very knowledgeable. You will learn so much off the man. Make sure you come and subscribe, like, comment, share this podcast, and comment below what more stuff you want to see from Gary Golden, and I'll make sure I'll pass that on to you. But I'm gonna love you all, leave you all. Gary, thank you very much, mate.
All right. Hey, I'm Tarzan of Los Angeles on Instagram.
Come on.